fucking rule. Crumble.
Damn it. Dynamite, please. All right. Where am I? There I am.
Oh wow.
Extra ship earned. Oh shit. No! Piss. God damn it. Where are all the high scores? What the fuck? Maybe Steam's down. Yep, Steam's down. Okay. That's why we don't got no high scores right now. Okay.
Rapid fire collected.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Power fire.
Hello, whoever's here watching. How you doing? What's going on? Say hi. What's up? Okay, all these rocks are about to get sucked in. Damn it. He ate me. Damn it.
Rapid fire collected.
Oh, piss.
Come on.
Power fire.
Shit.
Dynamite placed. Evanescent tranquility acquired.
Shit. He ate me.
Come on.
Geos collected.
fucking tough, man. Which is what I want.
You still have Geo's gems available.
Steam is still down, evidently. Get moving. I'm not moving fast enough. There we go. Need some kind of sound indicator to indicate when you've, I don't know, when you're going fast enough. Something.
Try shot. I like it.
Aw, you missed. Damn it. Oh, that was close.
Oh wow.
Shit.
Watch out. Dynamite, please.
damn it! I can't beat my own guy. Gotta beat him.
You still have Geos gems available.
There we go. Steam's back up. Alright. I still gotta try to beat the hard rock mode too. I'm not number 1 on that. Alright.
Crumble.
You know what I think I'll do is I think I'll make I'll make the border of the window either red or green. That would help you know if you're going faster or slower.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. That is what we'll do, guys. Let's go ahead and put that in. Senfer, how you doing, man? Okay, so for that, guys, we're gonna need to go to our rooms. Let me go to my game screen. Yeah, let's do that. I'm just gonna make an object here. And for this, we're just gonna go from... It's gonna be 10 each side of a 1600, so it's going to be 1580 wide. Yeah, 1580. And then here we're going to go 75 to, that's 890, right? Yeah. Okay. We'll try it and see what it looks like. Doing good, man. Working on rock and roll. Working on putting out another free update. For my game that came out more than 2 years ago. So this means I've been actively working on this game and putting out updates for more than 2.5 years now. I started development on Rock and Roll back in February of 2017. And I'm still putting out content for it 2 years, 8 months later, I guess. Yeah. 2 years, 8 months I've been working on Rock and Roll and applying. Now, granted, I haven't been working on it consistently. You know, every once in a while I'll just get an idea to put out an update or whatever. But Rock and Roll already has like over 100 updates. So I've put out a lot of shit for it. Do you have Rock and Roll, Semper? Have you bought it? Do 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 do. Alright. We're gonna call this sprite warning border. How about that? And this fucking sprite is going to be 1580 by, you enjoy watching me make it, 1580 wide by 890 minus 75, 815. A big fucking sprite. Probably a better way to do this, but we're gonna see how this works. See what it looks like anyway. And for this, guys, all we're going to do is double click this, and then we're going to put out, this is going to be really easy. We're going to make a red. Okay, so we want to make sure we're going like that. So let's go back. We're going to go bigger. Yeah. Fuck it, just like that, man. That's all we need, right? I think that'll show you, man. I think that'll do it. If we go boink, and we go Control C, Control V, we copy it. And then here, for image, the second image, we are just going to come in here, we're going to go Images, we're going to colorize it, and we're going to change it to green. Like that. And we're going to hit OK. And now, we have a border sprite, either red or green, to help us know if we're going fast enough to keep the... Oh, sorry. Yeah, thank you for that. So we've created a sprite here, basically, is all we've done. The size of the game window. And all I've done is, I mean, I just made a shape. And I made a... Yep. Yeah, thanks for letting me know, man. The screen was black. I always forget to switch modes when I do this developing. So, we'll see if that works. Let's go ahead and center this. Yeah. Okay, and we gotta make an object out of that. Object. What do we call it? Border warning or something like that? Object warning border. We'll apply the sprite to it. Bum, bum, bum. So many fucking sprites for this game now because I've added so much shit to this game since it came out. Alright. The depth we want to have at about -1,000 because we wanted to show up over rocks and everything. So we're going to put the depth. The closer the depth is, which is -1,000, means it's really close to you. So it's going to be over everything else. And then we're going to need to add a create event here. We're going to need to set the image speed equals 0. And then we're simply going to need a step event. Bum, 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 bum. And we're going to go into our object player because that's where I got the, I forgot what the variable it is I need to set. It's in the alarm. Global cheetah. If your average speed is greater than the near speed, it's 1. And if it's less than, it's 2. So here, we're just going to say bum, 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 global cheetah equal 1. If global cheetah equal 1, then image index equal 1. Control C, Control V. If it's 2, image index equals 0. Now, all we need to do is put this motherfucker in the room. We can just come to the room, the game room, and set the motherfucker in here. Could do it with code, but why not? Might as well just go ahead and throw the object in here like this. Make sure we get it lined up properly. Bum, 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 bum. Boom. Okay. All right. Like that, man. Oops, I don't want that one. I don't want another one, man. Okay. That needs to be, this one needs to be moved a little bit to the left. Looks like it's good up and down. This needs to be moved to the left a little bit. That looks fucking good. Let's try that now. Yeah. Okay. Let's try it now, see if it looks better, see if it gives us a better indicator of when we're going fast enough and when we're not. I gotta add some more sound effects too. I want to add some growls and shit for the for Azsloth. I want to make some sound effects for him, like mocking you, or not mocking you, but saying, "Oh, that hurt." I think, like if you fucking hit him with dynamite or whatever. If you're shooting him, maybe have him randomly say stuff like, "Your shots are like a fly," or something. I don't know. Oh, lots of laughs. Cool. I don't know. You got any ideas? If you have any ideas, let me know, man. It takes a long time to, every time I update the code, it's got to go through and like save it and everything. So when you play the game, it doesn't take this long. It's just loading it in this game Maker application. It takes a while. But welcome to the stream, whoever else is watching. Say hi. Be sure you say hi. Looks like we got 3 people here now. I think we actually have 3 people here. Oh my god, I've probably got... I'm pretty sure if I'm not over 1,000 hours of work into rock and roll, I'm probably getting close to it. Like, I figure I'm probably at least 700 or 800. And it might be over 1,000, man. I just haven't kept track of how much time I put into it. I put a lot of time into it, though. If you added it all up, I'm sure it would add up. I think the next time I make a game, like a big game like this, which is probably going to be Lemma Maze, when I make that, I think I'm going to keep track of how many hours I put into the game. So if I work on it, 3 hours one day or whatever, I'm just going to say +3 on a notepad or whatever. Put what day I worked on it, +3. And then all the hours, I can add them up. If I work on it, for 2 hours or 8 hours or whatever I work on the summit for, I can then I can add it up and I'll have a better idea of how much time I have invested in my next big game.
Stop. Think. Let's rock and roll.
Hey, look who's #1. I'm just saying. NBC Company, come at me, man. You better get my high score, because getting a high score is going to be harder after this update. Because if you don't want to face Azsloth, the new monster, you're going to have to keep moving. You're no longer going to be able to sit in one spot and fire away at asteroids. You're going to have to keep moving to keep Azsloth from spawning in. We know he's going to be difficult to beat. He'll probably kill you at least a time or two. Look at that. Makes it easier to see that, hey, I'm not going fast enough. I like it. What do you think, man? I think I like it anyway. Get moving. Looks nice. Makes it easier to see that I'm not moving fast enough. Where if I start moving, see, and get my cheetah in the green up at the top, then my border should turn green as well. Fuck! But when you move, you have a higher chance of crashing into shit like that. There we go, see? Now I'm good. I may not keep this border here, I may think of something else, but for right now it looks pretty good, I think. I think it gives you a better visual representation of, hey, I need to move faster, or I need to, you know, I'm going fast enough. My cheetah's in the green, basically my speed, my average speed. Yes, we will take Mother Sucker.
You're a mother sucker.
Oh, you're loving the graphics? Is that sarcasm, or do you really like it? Huh. You never know, man. This is definitely old school graphics. It's nothing, Alright. Dynamite! See, that mother sucker lets me suck in resources without having to go and grab them, because they're worth a lot of money or points. You can sell them for points or money. You really like it? Appreciate it, man.
A55 kicker is a relatively crap.
A55 kicker. That's one thing I gotta do too. I gotta make the A55 so he fires at the Azsloth. I haven't put that in yet. I gotta make him so he fires at Azsloth as well. And I gotta make him so he gets hurt by Azsloth's fire. So Azsloth can fuck him up. Maybe I'll make him so Azsloth can't fuck him up if you upgrade your A55. But if he's not upgraded, Azsloth shots will kill him.
A55.
See, like I can upgrade him right now.
Your A55.
Oh god.
Upgrade.
Fucking worm. Oh god. Azsloth. Azsloth is gonna come. No, that's my last warning when it's red. Fuck, man. Rocks hit me. It sucks him up. Yeah, see, I don't have the A55 firing at him yet, and Azsloth won't try to hit him yet either. So we gotta fix that. That's something I still have to do. God damn it. This is the first time I've heard audio for this game. Usually I just hear you talking in the stream. Oh, okay, you can actually hear it? You can hear it good? Do I need to turn the game audio up, or does it sound good? I can turn it up a little bit, if it helps. Okay, let's dynamite this bitch. Fuck. Fucking snake. Oh shit, tongue almost got me. A55 is taking out the snake.
Please.
Die, motherfucker. Oh shit! Oh man. Look at that dynamite though, it more than half killed him. Nice. Knocked a bunch of rocks off of him, but... Audio's fine. Welcome everybody, welcome to my stream. I tried streaming me developing this game the other night, I think, or yesterday, I can't even remember. God, my days are all running together. But like nobody showed up over on Twitch. It seems like I get more people show up for my live streams when I develop a game over here on YouTube for some reason. So we got to work on the A55. I think I want to remake the sprite here for... I think I want to remake the sprite for this border. to fit exactly on the lines here. Yeah, let's do that. Let's work on the border first, fix that, because I think it could look a little bit better. And I'm a perfectionist, so let me go ahead and put it back on desktop so you guys can see what I'm doing. So we're going to come in here, we're going to go to edit, we're going to delete this one for right now because we can just copy and paste the first one once we get it right. And in fact, we're going to go ahead and delete this one as well. And we're going to go 1580. Actually, we're not going to go 1580 because, yeah, we're going to go 15. How big is our border? I don't even know how big it was. Probably like fucking 6 pixels or something. Let's just go ahead and go 1570 by 825. Okay. And then, Camber, hush. Let's go in here. And now you'll get to see what I did. Here I just went to the shape. See, I just went to the, right here. Hexagonal shape here. I used this one. I don't know how many pixels wide that is. We can count it actually. And here we're going to go, let's try to put this bitch right on the edge. The problem with putting it right on the edge is if I fuck it up and put it out, then it's going to look thicker in one side or the other. I think that's it right there, but it looks bigger at the top than it does at the bottom. See, it's so freaking... Okay. How many pixels is that? Let's do this. Let's go ahead and go do a line. Let's go like this. I want to make sure it's straight. That ain't straight. That ain't straight. That's straight. Nope. Undo. Undo. Fuck, man. Gotta get this shit like right perfect, man. That's not perfect. Is that it? No, it's not. Fuck. God damn it. I'm like 1 pixel too far to the left. There we go. I think that's it. Is that a straight line? I think so. Okay. Yeah. This is actually going to be a thicker border than what we had. Damn it. No, motherfucker. No! Oops, not that. Drawing. No! Bitch. No! 1 little pixel there I need to fill in. Fuck it. No, we gotta have this perfect. It's not perfect. I think we just need to go the smallest one and hit that 1 little dot. There we go, got it. Alright, let's try this shit. Boom. Control C, Control V. Change this one to green. already set. There we go. Go boink. Center it again. Now let's go back to our room and see what it looks like in the room. I know you had Twitch. I stream to Twitch and YouTube at the same time, but people rarely join the Twitch side, or they just follow. Yeah, and I found that doing that lags me out more, so I just do it to one platform or the other. It doesn't seem, for me, I don't get many viewers on either one anyway, so okay, so it looks like we need to looks like we need to stretch the X a little bit by a few pixels. The Y maybe needs to come down by like 5, and we need to stretch the X by like, I don't know. Let's fuck with it. We can stretch it out. We can come in here and we can go edit. We can come in here and just go edit sprite. We can go transform. And I think we can just stretch it like this. So I said we're going to stretch the, I think this actually needs to be 1580. And no, we're not going to keep the aspect ratio. This one actually needs to be, this was 825. I think this one needs to be like 821. Good quality. Okay. There we go. Let's try that. Come back to our room. Okay. And we can stretch it out or modify it again if we need to. This looks really fucking close though. See, I don't want to take up the lines like in the right here, this blue line. I want it to come right up to the top like that. We need to come over this way. That looks pretty fucking good. Actually. I think that's pretty fucking close right there. Let's try that shit. See what it looks like in the game. Laurent, what's up, buddy? How you doing, dude? How you been today, man? I decided to live stream this development over here on YouTube because it seems like I usually get a few more viewers over here. I tried streaming me developing rock and roll last night for, I don't know, an hour and a half or something while I was working on Azsloth on Twitch, and I got no viewers. Like, nobody even came in. So I decided to go ahead and try me working on this over here on YouTube just to see if maybe some of my subscribers over here would come say hi or whatever. Yeah, you can finally use the emotes. Yeah, exactly, right? You can use the emotes that you pay for, which I appreciate all your support, Laurent. I appreciate it, man. Hopefully you guys enjoy me developing these games. Be sure you guys stay tuned because especially if I have some time off while I wait for this new computer and while I wait to start a new job here. I do got a new job. I got a new job offer. Pays more than my previous job. Working at home again. So I'm happy about that. It's one reason I'm kind of uppity today because, man, I'll be honest, I hate my current job with a passion. So new job cannot be any worse. Like, yeah, this job that I have now that I've been doing the past few months is like the worst job I've ever fucking had. And I've had quite a few jobs in my life. So yeah, I'm happy to get a new opportunity.
Stop.
Let's rock and
All right.
roll.
So what have you seen when have you last seen Azsloth, Laurent? Like, how far did I get him? Like, I don't remember. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I mean, it's not a great job yet, but it looks like it pays a little bit more. And I'm still working at home. We'll see what it's like. I don't want to knock on, you know, I want to knock on wood, but I don't want to, you know, get too happy before I actually start the job. And, you know, it couldn't be any worse, though. There's no way it could be worse. I'm still thinking about doing a video, like a video review. You guys know how I do video reviews of bad games and stuff like that. I am still strongly considering, as soon as I get the new job or whatever, and I get rid of this job I have now, I'm seriously thinking about doing a review of my experience with my current job and letting people know just how bad it is. Because there's a lot of people that, you know, want to work from home and that apply for these work at home jobs. And I think it's important, if people are searching on YouTube for, you know, opinions about the job, that they know everything. So I might make a video kind of telling people, hey, this is my experience. I'm not telling you the job is going to be bad for you or whatever, and I'm just going to tell people how fucking rotten my experience has been, and some of the bullshit I've had to put up with. So what we've done here, Laurent, is we've created a border to kind of help show you if you're going fast enough. So let me put this on game capture so it actually moves at the right speed. Okay. Come on. There we go. So I'm not going fast enough. So rather than having to look up at the cheetah, it's a lot easier to see. I also added the get moving signs. I don't know if you saw the yellow static going everywhere. Or different colored static when it warns you that, hey, you're not going fast enough. So that was the first warning. Still not moving fast enough. Still in the red. Second warning. Trying to get it in the green. I'm at 95 average. There we go. Now I'm going fast enough to keep Azsloth happy. But as you can see, the game is definitely going to have to make you... Obviously, you don't have to go as fast when there's a million rocks on the screen. But right now, there's not that many rocks, so it's requiring you to go like 120 miles an hour or whatever, average. And this is... I'm really surprised I haven't thought of something like this long ago. Like, this should have been something I should have thought of a long time ago, closer to launch. I can't believe this idea actually recently hit me, because I never want somebody just sitting in one spot, you know, firing away. It's too easy in these games to just sit in one little spot like this and just fire at asteroids. Moving around is more fun anyway, you know. So I want people to get used to the controls, get good at the controls, and forcing them to move around, or the threat of Azsloth spawning, I think is a great way to get people moving. Because after they face Azsloth, they may think it's fun at first, you know, to create Azsloth or to spawn Azsloth and fight him or whatever. But they're soon going to find out that Azsloth is no fucking slouch. Is that right, Laurent? Laurent knows how hard it is to beat fucking Azsloth. No, I don't want that bitch after me. I don't need a VDS on the screen right now. Stay away from me, motherfucker. And if you shoot him, he just laughs at you. The A55 kicker can take him out, but you can't. I can take that thing out. Whoa. Okay, I need to slow down so I fucking spawn Azsloth. There's not that many rocks on the screen right now, so he shouldn't have that much health. Like, I'm thinking one dynamite will fuck him up. Alright, let me slow down and get in the red. Let me slow down and get in the red. There we go. If you guys have any ideas, if you're watching, you know, please let me know. Last warning. Oh, he ain't gonna have very much health at all. Huh? Okay, so he didn't have that many rocks, and it took a minute for him to spawn. It's kind of weird. Okay, I'm thinking like, yeah, see, each of these rocks is taking out quite a bit of health. We're gonna go ahead and come over here and throw a dynamite down, though.
Please.
Oh, God. I mean, he's still fucking a threat. A huge threat. Dynamite. Oh, yeah, look at that dynamite. He didn't have that much health. God damn it. See what I mean? He's a threat. He still cost me a life. And we got more rocks on the screen now than we had. So, there's always that. 2 lives now have been spent. And 3 lives now. Fuck, man. Even if you don't have that much health, he's still a pain in the ass. God damn it. Yeah, a weak-ass fucking Azsloth still kicked my ass. Between shooting me and fucking eating me. Son of a bitch. You know what? I like Azsloth. I think this is, I think he's a great addition to rock and roll. I think he's coming along good. Oh, I added the, whatever you call it at the bottom of him. Whatever you call that. An impact or, you know, the lines. Jagged lines at the bottom. Kind of looks like he's floating on it or something. I mean, it looks good though, I think. That's one thing I did on my stream yesterday, I think, is I added the jagged lines below him. Fuck, he's a pain in the ass, man. I gotta get my son to play him, see if my son can beat him. I think the border's a good idea. I do like the border. We might take the intensity of it down a little bit on the border. I don't think it needs to be quite that fucking green. So let's come back in here, guys. And let's go to this border. Not the object, the fucking sprite. Okay. LMAO, huh, Simper? Alright, let's go to edit. Let's go to images. The intensity. No, I think we're going to leave the intensity alone. I think what we want to do is, I think we would just want to go, alpha. You know, I could do that with code, though. Let's just fucking do that with code, guys. Warning border, create, when we create the motherfucker. We're just gonna go and then we can change it easy. Alpha, image alpha. Equal, let's just try 0.7. Yes, the playoffs for baseball is tomorrow. Nice, Laurent. Are you still here, Senper? Shows we have 2 people watching. Yep. So you and Lawrence. So somebody else was watching for a bit, and they didn't say hi. I wonder who that could have been. Who knows? Who knows? Some lurker. Just waiting for GameMaker to compile all the fucking data.
Stop.
Let's rock and roll.
What? Dryer? What? Global name Steamless success not set before reading it. Line 88 of object new start. Really? How come I haven't ever seen that fucking error before? What? What? New start. Object 88 of the draw event, I think it said. If a global Steam success equal false. Okay. Copy. You know what? We'll put that in this motherfucker. And we'll make sure it's like, it should basically be a variable that it's not set. I'm surprised that actually came up. I've never seen that before. See, I fixed the bug in the game. All right. Alright.
Stop. Think.
Let's rock and roll.
There we go. No error that time. Yeah, see, that's not as bright now. I just turned the alpha down a little bit. I like that better. It's not near as bright. Let's take a look at the green, though. Let me get moving fast. Shonda, long time no see. How you doing, hon? Good to see you. What's been going on in your world? Now we're green. Yeah, don't you guys like that better? The border's not quite as bright. I think that's about right, too. I don't think I need to turn it down anymore. What are you guys saying? Laura, Sinfer? Not much. Not much. Good to see you. Good to see you. Again, it's weird. Like, OBS shows me putting out a good 0 frames dropped, a good connection, and then rock and roll is showing a red, showing a low video output. Like, that makes no sense. Why would OBS be showing a perfect video output, but YouTube is showing me low video output? Weird. So we're going too slow. We got to keep moving with this new update that's going to come out here soon. We got to keep our cheetah and our border in the green. Otherwise, we will spawn the new enemy, the new Azsloth. And we're back in the red. But welcome to the stream. Shonda, good to see you, hon. Oh shit, last warning. 5 people here now. Welcome everybody, welcome to the stream. Not common that I get 5 people watching me make a game. I am working on new free content for rock and roll, guys. Hoping to put this up on Steam sometime later this week. But I want to test the shit out of it, so I may be doing a few of these development live streams this week. I'll probably do them all right here on YouTube. I mean, not only is it good to develop my games on stream, I think, because I get ideas, I get people giving me their thoughts and that kind of thing, but you know, it also kind of helps advertise the game.
Oh wow.
Might get a sell or two from it. There he goes. He's eating all the rocks. Now, the bitch is born. Okay, so one thing I need to do is when he eats the rocks, as he eats them, it needs to fill up his health bar, rather than having him eat all the rocks and then the health bar jumps up all of a sudden. God damn it, he ate me. What have I created? Lauren, what kind of beast have I created, man? He's unbeatable.
You're a mother sucker.
You're a mother sucker. Shonda, you're a mother sucker. God damn it. 7 people here. Welcome, everybody. I haven't had 7 people on YouTube in forever, but a lot of you guys may not know. If you guys don't know that I now have a Twitch where I typically do live streams. Definitely, I think I have the link in the description. I don't know. But it's the same name on Twitch. If you just go to Twitch and search for Zaxtorian, make sure you follow me over there, guys. Yeah, we definitely want Mesa.
Hell yeah. Free Mesa? Woohoo!
God damn it.
Mesa protect.
I cannot kill my own freaking... Look what I've created. Look what I've created. I can't beat him. He just keeps eating me and shooting me and fucking me up. See? He almost hit me there. Alright, we can do some damage to him, though. We need to place our dynamite. Now I got that little red bastard. Oh, God. No. No! 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 No!
Mesa protected.
Good thing I had Mesa. I would have been dead again. Yeah, this is the last life. Shit. Shit! Azsloth kicked my ass again, but look how much damage I did to him. I think I did, what is that, 5%? I did 5% damage to him. I have created a real beast. And I want to leave him strong. I don't want to nerf him a whole lot. I want to make him... I want to make people scared to death of spawning Azsloth. So I want people fucking racing around. I want to, as soon as this update comes out, I want people to say, you know what, I want to face a new monster. And then they face the new monster and they go, oh my god, this guy's fucking impossible to beat. And they lose the game. And so they start it over again. And they play again. And then we see them fucking zooming around, crashing into fucking asteroids because they're scared to death they're gonna spawn Azsloth by not keeping their ass moving. This is... I can't, like I say, guys, I come up with the idea to create Azsloth probably 3 weeks ago, a month ago, somewhere around there. Like, how do I make a game rock and roll? And I added all kinds of shit over the years. You know, the dynamite, the A55 kicker, the monster rock, the Earth Protect mode. What else did I add? I added a bunch of shit to this game over the development cycle. And from the start, I knew when I originally made the game that I didn't want people sitting in one spot firing away at asteroids. And the only thing I did is I remember way back in early development, like when the game first launched or whatever, the only thing I did to try to make people move around was make them so that if they spun around in a circle, you know, standing still, they rotated really slow. So, but I made the mechanics work so that if they were moving, the faster you were moving, the faster you could rotate around to shoot. But that really didn't work because people would still stop in one spot and just rotate slow and fire at rocks, and then they would just complain, "Oh my God, Zach, your game sucks because you rotate too slow." Like, why did this not hit me way back more than 2 years ago when I launched the game? That, hey, you need to, you know, why didn't something like this hit me? I have no idea why I didn't think of this a long time ago. But then again, there's thousands of people that own this game now, and nobody has suggested this or anything like it either. So, still, I'm the developer of the game, and it blows my mind that I didn't come up with Azsloth a long time ago. I think he's going to make the game more fun. He's going to make it more challenging, yeah, but I really want to put a fear in people. I want to make people scared to death to sit in one little spot and fire away at asteroids. I want to make people scared to death of fucking Azsloth. I want, when they see that last warning, I want to see people stream this game and people going, "Oh fuck, I gotta get moving," and then see them crashing into asteroids or whatever. Because that's how people are going to get better at the game. They're not going to get better. You're not going to get better at maneuvering around and getting around all the rocks if you're only just trying to sit in one little spot and fire away, you know? So, I love this idea. I want to know what you guys think, though. I just can't believe I didn't think of this earlier. I want to get my son to try it and see what my son thinks. See if my son can beat him. Because right now, I can't beat him. So the one thing I'm going to have to do, though, is I'm going to have to reward players big time if they spawn Azsloth and beat him. I don't know how I'm going to reward him. I don't know how many points I'm going to give for it. Like, so there's going to be a whole lot of balancing. I'm still going to put in some more things. I want to have Azsloth be fucking... I want to have him have an evil voice. And if you're firing at him with your bullets, rather than hitting him with dynamite, I want him to basically mock you and say things like, "You feel like a flea," you know, "You're a pesky little fly," or, you know, "You couldn't hurt a flea." Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. "You couldn't hurt a flea," you know. "God, you're a pesky little fly." I don't know. I'll have to think of some clever little... You guys, that's what you guys could do with the chat for me. Help me think of funny lines this guy could say. And then I need him to say something like, if you hit him with dynamite, which is going to hurt him. Dynamite is his weakness. But remember, when you blow him up with dynamite, a bunch of rocks break off of him. So, you know, he could say something to the effect... I don't want it to be real long. I don't want the lines to be real long. I want them to be really short, something I can say in like 2 or 3 seconds at the most. But, like, if you hit him with a dynamite and he breaks off a bunch of rocks, he could say something like, "Ow! Now you've created a mess," or something like that, you know, like, "Now you've created a mess of rocks," or whatever. "You may have hurt me, but how about all these rocks," or something, you know, I don't know. But it's got to be something... I want him to say a bunch of lines, though, as you fight him. And, of course, he's going to have... It's going to be my voice, but I'm going to use Audacity to to make his voice deeper. So like if I show you here, I already have some of the things. I don't know if I'm going to use these or not, but Azsloth feed, I haven't uploaded these yet. Let me go ahead and come here. So like here's kind of his tone of voice that it's going to be. Hello? Play?
I feed off your worthlessness.
So that's gonna be kind of what he sounds like.
You're a pesky, lazy housefly.
Yeah, see, he's calling you housefly there. Roaring. Have a couple of roars that I've done. Looking good reminds me of Sinistar. What's that? Is that on Steam, Rich? How you doing, man? Welcome to the stream. I put a lot of work into rock and roll, Rich. That's another thing you guys can do. Rock and roll. I don't think I've sold a copy of rock and roll in at least a month. Probably more like 2 months. And it's been on sale. I really think my game is worth quite a bit. I've put a lot of time and effort to it. I think it's creative. And so the price of it has went up since I launched it. The price of it is now $12.99. Stand-up game, I think, from Williams. Okay. So I really believe that people that like this kind of a game are going to think that it's well worth, 10 or 12 bucks, which is kind of what I have it at now. I feel like people that like this kind of game are going to be willing to pay $12.99 for it, and people that don't like this kind of game, don't like a retro asteroids kind of game, probably are going to think it's not worth $1. So you're either going to like it or you're not. And before, I think I had it priced way too low, but then if you consider that I put out more than 100 updates to the game since it launched, I put so much work into it that I think it's worth, quite a bit more than it was when I first launched it. Steam was down, but it is loading. I'll have to look that up, Rich. This really is, rock and roll is a game that I've wanted to make since I was a kid. I was a big Asteroids fan of the arcade classic back in the early 80s when I was, a kid, 8, 9, 10 years old. And I used to put just rolls of quarters back in the 80s into the Asteroids arcade machine. And I honestly believe that what I wish more than anything is I wish I could give rock and roll. You think Fancy VEER is my most underrated game? Fancy VEER is a fun game as well. Fancy VEER is not nearly as fancy as rock and roll. It doesn't have all the stuff that rock and roll has, but it has good mechanics, and I think it's a fun game. Fancy VEER, a lot of people will look at a game like Fancy VEER and they'll look at rock and roll and think, oh, it's the same kind of game. It's just an asteroid shooter. Like, they play so different. It's not even funny. Ain't that right, Lauren? There's no comparison on the gameplay. Like, Fancy VEER, it looks the same, but Fancy VEER just plays so much differently. It's super fun. I have a blast. Yeah, once you start doing in Fancy VEER, once you start doing the rock combos, trying to get the combo crash, the crash through combos, that's where the fun comes in. A lot of people don't know that, and they'll sit there and try to shoot the asteroids like this game. But once you start doing those combos, that's where you really rack up the points. But yeah, I mean, rock and roll is my baby. It's the first game I launched on Steam. It's a game that, I all my life, as a kid especially, I had my own dreams of creating a game like not rock and roll, like Asteroids. And I still remember very vividly when I first got my Commodore 64 in like 1983 or something like that, 1984, I invited one of my best friends to come over. Like, he used to live really close to me before I got my Commodore and stuff like that, and he was like one of my best friends ever. And he moved to the other side of Boise. Like, he was, took 20 or 30 minutes to get to his house. And so he was out of biking range. I'm talking by car. So I couldn't bike to his house. I definitely couldn't walk to his house. So I didn't see him very much at all. And, you know, he went to a different school and everything like that. Still remember his name. His name was Mike. Best friend, great kid. And him and I were friends forever. But when he moved away, it was kind of one of those things where I was sad, you know, because it was my best friend. And he moved. Granted, he didn't move to the other side of the country or anything like that. But I just didn't see him nearly as much. And so after I got my computer, not long after I got my Commodore for Christmas, one year, I think he probably came over. It might have been that Christmas break. I don't remember the exact time. But I had a computer, and I could actually, on the Commodore, I knew that I could program, you know, my my own game. And so, of course, I'm like, wow, you know, you can actually program your own games with this Commodore 64. It was one of the first home computers you could get where you could program and, you know, make your own, you could learn to program and you could program your own games. That's what they hyped about the Commodore back then. So it was one of the first home computers. And I still remember very well, you know, not knowing anything about programming, but I'd had some books and stuff like that that my parents bought me on how to program and included simple games and everything like that. And the only thing I remember with that, you guys are going to laugh, but so, hang on just a second. Let me, this is so funny. Like, this is a great story, I think. So on the Commodore 64, I realized I'm sitting there with my friend Mike Curry, and I'm just super fucking excited, you know, because I got this computer, and my friend and I are going to make our own asteroids, and he's sitting there throwing ideas at me, and I'm coming up with all these ideas that are going to be in our own asteroids game. And I wish I had like a video of me and him that night on my Commodore trying to create this asteroids, our own asteroids game. And so, so what I want to show you guys here is, so we had our Commodore, right? And font, how big is our font here? I just want you guys to be able to see this because it's, okay. So we're just going to go bold, 20. So on the Commodore, you'd put line numbers in, right? Like you would usually go in terms of 10, and the code would read it. And you could use all kinds of commands, like, you know, there's all kinds of sophisticated commands. But one of the first commands I learned was a command called RAM. And RAM is kind of like the, in Game Maker, where you put 2 slashes in front, and you basically put notes to yourself. It doesn't do anything. The computer basically sees 2 lines, or the RAM statement on the Commodore 64 means the same thing. And all RAM is it means remember. And it's something the computer will skip right over. But in RAM, you can put anything you want. It doesn't have to be actual code the computer understands. It's just stuff for you to help remember. So, and I didn't know that. I just know that I looked at some of the simple sample games and stuff like that in some of the books that came with my Commodore 64, and they were full of RAM statements. And the reason these little games and stuff like that in the code books were full of RAM statements is because they would mark something, like they would put a RAM statement and say, hey, this next line is, you know, turning the screen blue. And then it would say RAM turn the screen blue, and like the code, you know, the simple games and stuff like that in these books that came with the Commodore. So the people that put those code in the book would say RAM next line turns the screen blue. And so the next line would actually be all the sophisticated code that would change the screen to blue. And then the next line might say RAM make a sound, and it would have like 4 lines of complex code that would make some kind of a beep or something like that, or some kind of a little musical chord or something. And so all I knew was I saw the RAM statement because the RAM statements made sense to me because they were written in English. So, but I didn't know at the time that the computer didn't actually understand RAM statements. You know, I'm 9 years old or something at the time, guys. And so me and my friend, who's the same age as me, we're sitting there saying, okay, what are we going to do? We're going to go ahead and make a asteroids game, and we're just putting all kinds of stuff. RAM, make an awesome was a big word back in the 80s, you know. Awesome spaceship with flashing gold and cool blue neon colors. You know, explanation points. Yeah! And then he's giving me an idea, and we're sitting there going, Rem, make stars look... I don't know what kind of stuff we put in there, but we sat there and did this all night, you know, super radical, man. You know, oh yeah, we're sitting there getting this idea in our minds of how cool this game is going to be, right? And I still remember sitting there like fucking all night long until like 5 o'clock in the morning doing nothing but fucking putting in, you know, hundreds of lines of fucking RAM statements. And we actually thought, you know, when we actually ran the game, at the end, him and I are both sitting there, we're just like super excited, and we're like, yeah, this game's gonna be awesome, we've got everything, and we're sitting there trying to think of everything we want in the game, right? You know, we're like, okay, well, what happens when we do this? Make a rock break up into 4 pieces, or 5. You know, maybe sometimes it breaks into 6, so we're probably putting that in 3 different RAM statements. RAM, sometimes make a rock break into 6 little rocks. RAM, sometimes make this. And so we're putting everything we can possibly think of in this game. RAM, have awesome music, or, you know, whatever. And I can't believe it's so funny now that we actually thought the game was going to do something, you know, when we played it. And then I sat there and I typed in on the Commodore 64, I typed run, which was your command to play your game. And after hours of putting all our, you know, ideas into RAM statements, man, I wish I had that program. I'd give some money if I could just get that old, because I would love to look at some of the shit we typed in those RAM statements back then. Yeah, the game was going to create itself. I guess that's what I thought. So I still remember typing run. We're both so excited. And then I remember how much my heart sank when all of a sudden I typed run, and the Commodore just basically came back and it said ready. And it had a flashing cursor. Just like that. Ready. That's all it did. It did nothing. And we're both like, what? How could this not be doing anything? We put everything in this. It doesn't do anything. It's not even, I don't even see a black screen. Or whatever. Where's the stars? Where's the rocks? We put them in. And it wasn't until, you know, sometime months later or whatever, when I'm going through code and I'm actually learning how to code, that I realized that, hey, RAM doesn't do anything. It's just a remark. So you can remember, so you can make notes to yourself in the code, or make notes to other people that'll look at your code telling them what the fuck it's doing. Right? So I will never forget that. But there is a 9 or 10-year-old kid, I remember the passion I had, how much I wanted to create my own Asteroids game. You know, him and I were both excited. My best friend Mike and I had stayed up all night just fucking throwing ideas into RAM statements, which meant nothing without any actual code. We had no actual code in it. It was just RAM statements, so nothing but remarks to ourselves. And then we played it, and we were so fucking heartbroken. God, I would love to have that old program we typed in. Of course, I probably just turned my computer off or whatever, you know, and I was probably so frustrated. I would love to have a copy of that fucking program we wrote with all those lines of code all night long. I bet you I would laugh my ass off looking at some of those, you know, RAM statements we made, looking that over. You know, I'm sure some of it was super cheesy. RAM, make the, you know, computer, I don't know, who knows what I fucking typed, him and I put in there. But I think it would be fucking hilarious to go back and look at that now. But guys, the biggest wish I had, if I could do anything, I would love to give Rock and Roll, a game that I think is definitely underappreciated on Steam. It seems like I have the most hours in this game myself, and if nothing else, I've made a game that I enjoy, I'm passionate about, and I'm proud of it for that. So even if nobody else has ever really appreciated it even a tenth as much as I have, I know how much I appreciate and how much I value my own game. It's something that's been a lifelong dream. And I never even started working on this until, you know, I remember when I first started working on it back in February of 2017, I really didn't think I could pull it off. You know, I knew I had an idea that I wanted to, with Asteroids, you know, you had, it was all vector graphics, and with Asteroids, you have the ability to rotate. The mechanics were kind of the same, except my mechanics are way better, honestly. My inertia and everything like that in Rock and Roll is way better than anything in Asteroids ever was. But in Asteroids, you also have the ability to get out of harm's way by hitting your hyperspace button, if anybody remembers. You could hit a button and you would appear, your ship would disappear, like if you had a whole bunch of rocks coming at you or whatever and you couldn't get out of the way, you could hit your hyperspace button and you would appear on a random spot on the screen. And I think you could sit there and hit the hyperspace button. It was kind of cheesy because you could sit there and hit the hyperspace button 100 times in a row and you would sit there and see your ship popping up all over the screen in random spots. Of course, there was a risk with hitting hyperspace because it would just be completely random spots. So you could appear right on top of a rock and then you would blow up and die. So that was the risk, is if you hyperspace, there's a lot of rocks on the screen, you would die. And I knew right away when I first started developing rock and roll that I didn't want to make the hyperspace. I think I tried it early on and I'm like, this is fucking stupid. And so I had an idea. This was before I named the game Rock and Roll, by the way. When I first started developing the game was called Zaxtorian. Believe it or not, I called the game Zaxtorian. And it was going to be a game that I was going to give away free to people that subscribed to my YouTube channel when I started developing it. I had no thoughts of ever putting it on Steam. I was just going to try to make a simple little Asteroids classic game, make it completely free, and anybody that subscribed to me on YouTube would get a free copy. Kind of an incentive to subscribe. And people started watching me develop Rock and Roll, or Zaxtorian, back in February of 2017. And they started liking how it was looking. It was way simpler than it is now. And but all I knew when I started developing Zaxtorian is I knew that I wanted to have a different system than the hyperspace, the random jumping all over the screen. I wanted to have it so that if you could make a maneuver if you got in trouble, where your ship would spiral around and basically do what I call a spiral attack now. And I knew that's kind of what I wanted, but I had no idea I was going to be able to pull it off. And that first time I started developing it, I just started messing with some code. And, it took me like an hour or whatever to get my spiral attack looking halfway decent. But, and I did. And, I mean, if you go back, guys, if you... let me see. Is it in here? Let me look. Some of you guys may not have seen this, but yeah, 6 viewers. Thanks so much for being here, guys. Hopefully you guys are all enjoying being here and everything like that. Give me just a second, guys. Let me find this. What are you going to have for dinner, Christian? Oh, here we go. So as we can see here, guys, I have one of my early versions. This is one of my earliest versions of Rock and Roll in development. You see the date on that, February 12th, 2017. This is like the first day. This is the probably first 3 days of development. Sometime in there. I don't know if it's day 1, day 2, or day 3. But we're going to take a look at Rock and Roll when I first started developing it. And you're going to see that it's so much different than what it is now.
Let's rock and roll.
So that was my initial screen. You can see that my my load-in screen or whatever is a complete mess. I mean, you have the sloppy font. You have a whole bunch of different colors. You have tons of different fonts. 1 font, 2 fonts, 3 different fonts, 4 different fonts, 5 fonts. I have like 5 or 6 different fonts on here, all kinds of different colors. I mean, it looks, I drew this, but it looks like a mess. But, spacebar to continue. Look at this. Look, this is my intro. This is where you choose your level. And I still kind of have this in the game. Choose your level, AM so-so, I'm a wuss. That's all still the same. You have 4 different levels. So that's still the same. But yeah, the situation, Earth is in dire danger. We have one last hope against the threat of exactly 427,361,783,209 asteroids discovered entering our galaxy. It seems that a large black hole the experts have named A55 Ashion opened up and allowed these billions of huge rocks to spiral out of control at insane speeds right towards our home planet. Your mission, be the hero and save Earth, no pressure. But look how sloppy it looks. You know, I remember when you first started making it, Shonda. Wow. Yeah, those were the days. So this was rock and roll when I first started developing it. And as you can see, I got my shields on me while I spawn. There's my rocks, guys. And this was rock and roll. I think this is after like 3 days, 2 or 3 days of working on it. But there's, you see the space worm there? It got me. So, I mean, even this simple little version is pretty fun. You know, it's the same basic idea. It's just come so far. Back then, there was no A55 yet. There was no dynamite. There was no boss modes. There was no bosses at all. It's just wave after wave of... there was no resources yet. I hadn't put in resources or anything. There's no crumbles. No BDS, nothing like that. I mean, this is a really early version of rock and roll that I, you know, when I was making it. And the cool thing about this is I've actually made this accessible from the game in Steam. So you can put in a code, you can go to your Steam properties and you can put in a code and you can play this original early day 3 of development version of rock and roll right here. When you buy rock and roll, you can also go back and play the launch day version of rock and roll, which is more advanced than this, but it's still way different than what we have now. Yeah, I don't want anything right now, but just put it up. You remember playing this version? Yeah, you can access this game from rock and roll. This is one of my earliest versions. Yeah, I think I told you to try it, Lauren. I remember that. And so you hit enter, and as you can see, it just starts over. There's no geostems yet or anything like that. All the geostems, everything came after this. But this version here, one of my original ideas was my spiral attack. And if you think if you hit R right mouse button, you did your spiral attack. So what I wanted to do, see, there it goes. Look how slow it goes though. But it was working. I mean, it spiraled and it threw you in a random direction, which was the risk part of it I wanted to do. I wanted it to get you out of danger, but I wanted there to be a risk of it throwing you in a random direction. Look at that. It still looks the same, the power-up. I think I only made 3 power-ups in this version, but rapid fire is very much the same back then as it is now. It even sounds the same. Yep. Snake again. Look how slow that moves. But it works. I mean, my ship breaks the rocks if it hits them when you're spiraling. And there's that little guy. That's the same guy we see now, but he's hyperactive in this version. And as you see, I was kind of copying the same vector graphics of asteroids in this version of rock and roll. But I mean, yeah, I think you can even have fun playing this, you know, this game right here. But if you're looking at rock and roll, guys, if you guys have rock and roll or you own it or whatever, and you want to go back and you want to play the different versions of rock and roll, you just come to the discussions tab. And it'll tell you right here, play early versions of rock and roll and how to access them. There's a pinned thread that I made way back in early 2018. And it shows you how to access the date. That's the version I just played right there. February 2017, day 3 of development. So if you want to see how to play that, you just click on here and it will take you step by step on how to access it. It's really easy. You just go to the properties of your rock and roll and you put in whatever code it is, I forget. It'll tell you right here, you can just copy and paste it. Yeah, old rock and roll music. enter old rock and roll music, all one word, in the properties tab, and you check the code, and then it's available to you at any time once you put in that code. So you don't have to put in the code every time you want to play it. You just put in that code, then you get the Day 3 Classic available. You can also put in another code and get the launch version, the version as it was when it launched on Steam back in July of 2017. You can play that version as well, and it shows you how to do that. So, game sound is too loud. Okay, let me turn the game sound down a little bit. But you know why the game sound is so loud there, Laurent? I'm going to turn the game sound back up because back then in that version, that old early version, you didn't have the ability to turn down the game sounds in the options. So that's why the game sound was so loud. Sorry about that. Yep. So, but yeah. Oh, we got a restart Steam. Be right back. Gonna grab a soda and get something to eat. That sounds good, man. But I mean, yeah. I think anytime, I mean, it may sound lame looking at a game like Rock and Roll and say, hey, this is one of your lifelong dreams. For me, yeah, it was. Ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to have and create my own version of Asteroids. You know, and I was finally able to do it with Rock and Roll. And I honestly believe that Rock and Roll is a way better game than Asteroids ever was. You know, granted, it should be, I guess, but, you know, I know it's been, whatever, 40 years or 50 years, I guess 40 years. 40 years since Asteroids came out. But then again, you know, Asteroids was developed by a big AAA company back then. I mean, it was an arcade machine. And here I am, all by myself, created a game that I believe is superior to Asteroids in every way. I mean, it's just it's got so much more to it that Asteroids never had. That's why I say,
Timber!
Timber! What you doing? Timber, get down! Oh, she was trying to grab your sandwich. Bad dog. She knows better than that shit, too. That's a bad dog, Timber. Go lay down. Go on. Go lay down.
I want you to pet her.
I'm not going to pet her. That's rewarding her for being a brat. But, yeah, I mean, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I mean, that's one thing I would love to do because, like I say, I think that nobody appreciates Rock and Roll the way I will, and it'll probably never happen. I don't think anybody's ever going to go and play it and appreciate it nearly as much as I have, or be as proud of it as I am. So, one thing, like I say, I would love to do, I wish I could go back in time, and I wish I could give Rock and Roll to myself as a kid. Valkyrie, there's no such thing as a bad dog. All dogs are angels. That sounds like something a woman would say, Valkyrie. No, she was almost a bad dog there. She was breathing right on your sandwich. Can you taste her? Can you taste her breath on your sandwich, Christian? He's eating at his computer, which we both eat at our computer all the time, and so he had just made a couple of hoagie sandwiches, and they're sitting on the edge of his computer, right in front of his keyboard, and he was getting a drink or something like that in the kitchen, and Timber was, you know, Timber's a pretty good sized dog, so she's looking right at the sandwiches, her nose just an inch away when I looked over there, and that's why he was screaming at her. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, I mean, I wish I could go and give Rock and Roll to myself as a 10-year-old and say, hey, man, this is going to be something you're going to make when you're older. And I probably would have shit myself. I guarantee you I would have loved this game as a kid. I would have fallen in love with it so hard. Like, I think of all the hours and all the quarters I put into the arcade machine of Asteroids. I would have been in such heaven if I could have played this back then, even if I didn't know it was for me, even if I couldn't know that, hey, I developed this in the future. If I could just play this game, I would have fucking loved the shit out of it. There's no doubt in my mind. You know, I would have loved this game back in. Of course, to be fair, to be fair, guys, if I could put this game back in 1982, you know, when I was a kid and loved asteroids or whatever, if this game could come out in 1982, first of all, I don't think there was any arcade machine that had the kind of power computers do now. But if people could have played this in 1982, this would have made fucking $10 million back in 1982. There's no doubt in my mind. This would have been, oh my god, this is the greatest game to ever come out. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But nowadays, things are so much more sophisticated and advanced. People look at this and be like, oh man, this is just a stupid, simple game. You know, I've heard comments, people say, I could make this game in 10 minutes. This looks like something you drew in MS Paint in 5 minutes or whatever. I mean, people say stupid shit. But, yeah, I mean, if this game could have launched in 1982, it would have been, everybody in the world would have fucking fallen in love with it. If it was you, wouldn't you also get super tempted by the tasty sandwich right in front of you? Absolutely, Valkyrie. If I was a dog, I sure as hell would. Hey, Jumping Jay, Rock and Roll. All my games so far have been made with the default Game Maker. Game Maker Studio, which you can no longer buy it officially. It used to be on Steam. It used to be on the, the website for Game Maker, Yo-Yo Games. But they no longer sell Game Maker. They sell Game Maker 2, which I've never really dove into Game Maker 2 that much. I've dinked around with it some, and I think it's a more, it's a fancier version of Game Maker, and supposedly it's better and more efficient and faster and everything like that. But for the kind of games I make, even Rock and Roll, which has a lot to it, and definitely is not programmed the most efficient way I know, because I'm a pretty new game developer myself. But Game Maker is certainly powerful enough to do everything that I've needed to do with it. And yeah, I mean, I've made all 5 games with a Game Maker, and I've gotten pretty. I don't even know. Like, I guarantee you, I don't even know a small fraction of what Game Maker can do. But I've been able to make games I want and make them work with Game Maker. I haven't had any experience with the Construct series. I know that Construct is a really powerful game engine. Construct is, for example, you can play, there's some really good games that have been made with Construct. And for the most part, it's all drag and drop. So Construct is a very fancy, 2D game making engine. And it's all drag and drop. And obviously it takes a lot more steps, and sometimes you have to. I would rather use code, to be honest with you, and learn kind of the basics of code, because once you learn code, and even like Game Maker or whatever, which has its own programming language, the basics are going to be the same no matter what engine you go to, whether you go to C# or JavaScript or whatever. Code is all essentially the same. But no, I don't have any experience with Construct, but I do know it's a good engine. The bad thing about the Construct engines that I've seen is it's very expensive. I believe it's a monthly fee of like $15 a month or something, if I remember right. $20 a month, I don't remember. But yeah, I mean, that'll add up fast. If you're paying $12 a month to use the engine, that's going to add up fast compared to something like Game Maker 2, where you could go buy Game Maker 2 for $99. So also look for something, guys. At some point here, I just got given a what the hell was that game? What the hell was it called? App Game Make Kit Studio. App Game Kit Studio. So this right here, guys, the game creators gave me a free copy of App Game Kit Studio, and it's another game making engine. It just came out back in July, brand new, and it's a $100 program, same price as like Game Maker, but this one looks really, really fancy. This one has code as well, a couple of different kinds of code you can use. You have, I believe it's drag and drop assets to visualize your scenes, and then you code with the App Game Kit script. I believe you can also code with like C+ or something like that, or C# in this as well. But after I dink around with this and get some experience, I do plan on using this App Game Kit. In fact, I might be learning App Game Kit. App Game Kit looks like it might be a great game making engine to program my my next big game, which will be Lemma Maze. So again, I want to go ahead and thank the game creators for giving me $100, game creation software. So as soon as I get my hands into App Game Kit, you guys can expect to either see me developing a game live like this. You guys maybe get to see me working with it and get to see me playing around with it and see what I think of it. So at some point there, I'm going to dive into this sometime in the near future. I do want to dive into the App Game Kit and see what all I can do, and see if I prefer Game Maker, which I've now made 5 games with, or if I prefer the App Game Kit Studio. But yeah, I was really surprised when they offered me the App Game Kit for free. And I mean, I'm sure they did it because, if I was a nice engine to make my next game in with, then if I start doing dev streams and stuff like that using this product, it's going to help them sell copies of their engine. If people are seeing me and asking questions like Jumping Jay just did, hey man, what game engine did you use? And I say, hey, I'm using App Game Kit Studio. Eventually it's going to probably sell some copies, seeing me make a game. I just checked. Construct monthly fee is only for educational purposes. I don't think that's accurate, Jumping Jay. Let's take a look at it. OBS had a crash, huh? Reconnection successful. Let's take a look. Pretty sure I looked at the Construct series, and I'm pretty sure there is a significant monthly fee to it. Unless it's changed since I've looked at it. Were you looking at Construct or Construct 3? Yeah, see, I don't even think you can use Construct. I think you got to use Construct 2 or Construct 3. So you can try it, but you're not going to be limited on what you can do with like Construct 3. And if you buy it now. So educational, yes. But if you want to use it for individual, which is what you'd be doing, yeah. See, you can do the plans here. $99 per year. Where you could buy something like Game Maker 2, or this new product, this App Game Kit software I was showing you guys here, the App Game Kit Studio, is $99 and then you own it. Where Construct is $99 a year, which equates to $826 per month. So yeah, it's not as expensive as I thought it was. But see, yeah, if you do the free version, you're gonna be so limited on, like you can't do royalty-free games and stuff like that. You're so limited. I mean, you can get in and play around with it on the free version, but yeah. And Construct was the same way. When Construct came out, because I remember looking at it years ago, it was the same kind of stuff. And businesses are more expensive, obviously. Startup license, total lifetime company revenues less than $50,000 a year. Pricing, $149 a year. This is basically, if you have 60, this is 60 copies cost you $149 a year. But you're not a business. You wouldn't be buying a business license anyway. You'd be buying. And then education, yeah, see, $12.99 per month or whatever, times however many copies you need. But for most people that are just going to be like a single game dev like myself, you're going to be buying a personal edition. And it's $100 a year. So that's one reason I've never played around with Construct. Not only that, myself personally, I'd rather have I don't know if Construct allows you to use code. It probably does. But for the most part, it's all drag and drop. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to continue to pay $99 a year. What if I go 6 months without doing any development? I just wasted $50, I'd rather just buy a program and then own it, much like I've owned Game Maker Studio for 5 years or whatever now. And then All right, Valkyrie, have a good one. Have a good night. Yeah, if you guys have any suggestions or questions or anything like that, be sure and put them in the chat, guys. Thanks so much for being here, everybody. It almost makes me tempted to come back to YouTube seeing 7 people here for a development live stream, but maybe this is just because I have so many subscribers over here or whatever. I still like the idea, guys, of streaming over on Twitch and keeping my live streams over on Twitch. It's going to be very rare that I'm going to do a live stream over here on YouTube, but who knows? Maybe I will do like special live streams. I think I'm going to keep all my Dead by Daylight shit and stuff like that, live streams like that over on Twitch, but maybe I'll bring back live stream Under the Moonshine or something like that and do visual novels and different kinds of things like that over here on YouTube, and have a set and scheduled time for it. You know, that's an idea, is, you know, live stream Under the Moonshines might be something I could bring back to YouTube and have a set time for it. You know, maybe I'll start off like once a week or whatever, doing a live stream Under the Moonshine over here on YouTube. That might be something to do. And keep all my Dead by, because that's what I play the most of, is like Dead by Daylight, and I just feel like Twitch is a better place for those kind of live streams, rather than flooding my YouTube channel with all kinds of Dead by Daylight. Because see, somebody might go back and watch like a live stream Under the Moonshine of a, you know, or even things like I want to play the rest of Life is Strange 2. I think I've done the first 2 episodes. So like if I do a Life is Strange 2 episode 3, maybe I'll stream that over here on YouTube. Stuff like that. That's an idea. What do you guys think? But yeah, I want to get into App Game Kit Studio, so definitely watch in the near future, guys. When I start dinking around with this, I'll probably stream that as well when I start playing around with this. Obviously, I'm not gonna, you know, do updates to Prison Ball or Rock and Roll or whatever in this, because it's already, you know, it's already made in Game Maker. So I would have to completely redo it. But when I start making a new game, I'll probably try App Game Kit Studio out and see if I like it. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty impressive. I was pretty surprised that the game creators gave me this $100 program for free. One of the advantages, guys, of being a streamer, once you get a few subscribers or whatever, you start getting shit like this and all kinds of games and everything. A lot of the games that I review, I get for free, which is pretty cool. I got Pathologic 2, which I haven't tried. I think this is like a $35 horror shooter or something like that. I just got it the other day and I haven't tried it yet. It's like a $35 game, and I just got it for free the other day. So there are some perks and advantages to being a content creator, for sure. Pathologic 2 is super weird. Is it, Jumping Jay? Is it good, though? I mean, people probably call Rock and Roll super weird, too. So you've played it yourself, or you've just seen other people play it, or what? It's very narrative-driven? Well, that sounds like my kind of game. You know, I like story-driven games. That's why I like games like Life is Strange. You know, and not Tales, what am I thinking of? The Walking Dead. By Telltale Games. That's what I was thinking of, Telltale Games. The Walking Dead. Oh, Christian, after you eat, I want to see if you can beat Azsloth. So you gotta come try it for me, okay? I just want you to try once and see if you can beat Azsloth. And I want to see if you think it's fun, too.
Stop.
Let's rock
Did you hear me,
and
Christian?
roll.
I want you to come try it. What the hell? I got another error again. What the fuck's going on all these errors that I've never seen? Global variable name even tried. Not set before reading it. What the fuck, man? I have a global variable named even tried. The draw event, line 88 again? God damn it. Well, I don't know why all these errors are coming up, and I don't know why I didn't define all these variables, but 88. This is good, man. I'm working on new content and seeing errors that I haven't fixed. Okay. And global even tried equal true. Control C. Oops, fuck. Control C. Global even tried. Well, I have no idea what the fuck that variable is or what it does, because I don't remember when I put this shit in. I'm gonna set that to false. We're gonna go back here and go back in here where we set all our variables and everything. Look at all these variables defined for this fucking game. Look at all these variables. This is all global variables and shit defined for the game. It's a lot of fucking variables. Yeah, that error I got was just because I didn't define a variable before I tried to access it. And the game maker was like, what the fuck is this? I don't know what this is. You haven't defined it yet. Who all do we still have watching me, or who's watching me? I know Jumping Jay's here, Lawrence here. I might do some DVD tonight. I mean, I played DVD for a little bit earlier. I don't know. Did you see me playing it earlier, Lawrence? I don't think you were. No, you weren't here. I did play DVD for... I think I played it for like 3 hours earlier. Something like that. Maybe a couple hours. I don't remember. I think I played it for 2 or 3 hours earlier. Yeah, I played it from like 8:45 a.m. actually my time to I think around noon. So I played it for 3.5 hours. It's been a while since I watched you. Really? Nice. I've been doing a lot of streaming today. I did I reviewed some games earlier today. Reviewed a couple of games. Did you watch that stream at all, Laurent? Update on my live streams with Sarah, all that. That video is out on my YouTube. I did that. I streamed it over on Twitch, though. Only a couple of people were watching that. Yeah, I'm kind of baffled that I'm getting errors that I haven't ever seen before accessing the high scores. Makes me wonder if anybody's played this game and seen those errors and just hasn't reported them on my forums or whatever. Oops.
Stop.
Let's rock and roll.
Looks like it's working now. But like it's weird. Like why would it work all the other times because I've looked at the high scores on this game many times and I haven't ever seen that error. That's the thing, when you start adding so many lines of code, you got so much shit in your game. You know, you increase the chances of it. You're going to have errors and you're going to have weird things happening. No, you haven't yet. Let me go ahead and go into the game capture for this. There's something I was gonna do, but I can't remember what it was. And then I got... all that shit kind of blinds you when it gives you the warning, too. Smasher! Okay, I can see one thing I need to do as well. My average speed is kind of running over into my timer. I need to move the timer there to the right a little bit. I actually want to slow down and go in the red. Look at Zach's jumping J question. Oh yeah. Do you release demos for your games? I did release a demo for Rock and Roll back in probably January of 2018, about 6 months after I launched it. And it stayed up. The demo was available for about a year. And a lot of people downloaded the demo, but it didn't seem to help. It didn't seem to help the sales much at all. So, and then I just kept adding so much stuff to the game over time that the demo was kind of obsolete. The demo was like for an old version of Rock and Roll. So I think what I might do is I think after I release Azsloth and get it balanced a little bit, I might create another demo for Rock and Roll. Some of the other games, no, I haven't created demos for. Most of the other games are pretty affordable, and I feel like, hey, you know, you got a 2-hour window if you purchase the game. If you don't like it, you can get a refund. So it's a lot of work to create a demo, to be honest with you. It really is. It's a lot of time. I feel like creating a demo is a lot of time that I could spend putting into another game, into my next project or whatever. But yeah, thanks for letting me know, Laurent, that he asked the question. I completely didn't see it. Sorry about that, Jumping Jay.
Dynamite placed.
You want that Mesa?
Hell yeah. Free Mesa? Woohoo! Mesa protected.
Mesa protected me there. Look at all those fucking rocks, man. God damn. That dynamite did a lot of damage, but look at all the rocks it created. Oh shit. Damn it.
Jeez.
Oh, then he ate me. He ate me as soon as I fucking spawned. Okay, so there's some things I need to do. I need to make sure he doesn't fucking eat you right when you spawn. That felt cheap. People aren't gonna like that. They already died, and then as soon as you fucking spawn, he fucking grabs you with his tongue and eats you. Yeah, I need to make sure that when you spawn, his attacks stop for, you know, 10 seconds or something. Jumping J, no worries. Have you considered uploading a demo to online game sites like Congregate or Armor Games? I haven't. That might be a good idea. And then just kind of put information about how you can get this game over on Steam. It's a good idea, man. Probably a good idea. But yeah, I can't beat my own fucking creature, guys. I haven't... Lauren, have you ever seen me beat this guy? I got pretty close there, but I don't know that I've ever defeated him. He kicks my ass every time I spawn him. So I still got some work. I want to add some more sound effects, guys, to him. I want to make him make some sassy voices. So I got some work to do on him. I'll probably be working on this a lot this next week. I'll be working on getting this because, like I said, I want it for whatever reason. There's really no deadline when you're a, you know, an indie game developer. You can put shit out whenever you want. But I really want to go ahead and get Azsloth launched. So he's going to be something I'll be working on quite a bit this week. My goal is to release Azsloth by Friday, but we'll see how he's coming along. I mean, once I launch him or whatever, I can still do some tweaking and balancing after I launch him, and after people get a chance to play him and play against him and give me their feedback or whatever. But I do want to make him really hard to beat. I want people to be scared that he's gonna. I want people to be scared of spawning him and be flying around the screen and actually moving rather than trying to sit in one spot or moving around too slow and risking spawning Azsloth. I want him to be really, really tough to beat. I want him to be, in most situations, unless you're really good, I want him to be basically death. I want him to be punishment. So I definitely don't want to make him easy. But I also got to figure out like what kind of rewards you're going to get for defeating him, you know. With that, guys, if you guys haven't seen my review, my indie game review, I think it's called my Indie Outlook, the new series. Well, I think I've done them before, but definitely check that out. I put that up on YouTube earlier today. Check that out. If you guys haven't seen that, I'm going to get off here, guys. I'm going to get something to eat. And I am going to, yeah, be sure you follow me over on Twitch if you're not following me over on Twitch, guys. That's how you found me. Oh, you came over here for my Twitch? Yeah, but I'll probably be on Twitch later, guys. I'll probably do some Dead by Daylight or something. Or I might be back here doing another stream of this guy. I don't know. But thanks so much for coming over, guys. I appreciate you guys being here. We have 6 people here, though, guys, while I'm eating and while you guys are eating, even if you guys are going to eat dinner or whatever. Let me go ahead and... I forgot how to fucking do a raid, guys. Oh, yeah, I just put in the link for whoever I'm raiding. Let me see if anybody's on YouTube that we can raid, guys. You guys, what do you guys want to see? Dead by Daylight, or what are you guys looking to see? Because I can raid a Twitch streamer as well. And I just hope you guys will go over and give whoever I raid some love. You know what, guys? We have 3 people right now watching a cool guy. If you guys haven't seen Alpha Rain yet, this guy is a young man. He is a lot of fun to watch. He's definitely, you know, he's a good guy to watch. I haven't seen I've watched him play several hours of different games. This guy is super cool, though, so let's go ahead and, first of all, you guys can copy and paste this. Just copy and paste that. Copy and paste that, guys. And let's go watch Alpha Rain play a little bit of Skyrim. Skyrim's an awesome game. This guy looks like he is having quite a bit of fun. So let's go show him some love. Alpha Rain is his name, guys. And here's his link right now. So go show Alpha Rain some love. Just copy and paste that Zaxtorian raid. Put it in his chat. And thanks so much for coming out, guys. We'll see you soon. Peace, everybody.